All right, so finding a way to really find length through your spine. As always, removing the shoulders away from the ears and shoulder blades coming towards each other at the back. So we're going to get started with talking about our 7th limb of yoga today. And that is Dhyana, which is meditation. So really, meditation, or this particular limb of yoga, is about letting go of thoughts. So allowing the cessation of the fluctuations of the mind. So in Sanskrit, we talked about this a number of weeks back, but there's a saying which is yoga chitta vritti nirodha, which means yoga is the calming of the fluctuations of the mind. And that's saying that is what yoga is. So this particular limb of yoga is about that, right? It's really difficult to stop the thoughts, right? And that is why there's actually a number of limbs that lead up to this particular limb. This is why it's the 7th limb. And there's lots of steps before that, including lots of steps towards meditation. So we had, for example, working on the breath, right? We had withdrawal of the senses and concentration. All of these as kind of steps that help you to get towards meditation. And it's kind of interesting because this letting go of the fluctuations of the mind, it's not about really doing anything. You actually have to let go of control in order to get to that point. You just let go, right? And you trust and you just see what happens, right? And quite often what happens is you still have these chats, this loads of chatter, that monkey mind. And that's part of being human. So meditation is about training the mind. It's hard, it requires discipline. And really, it doesn't matter if we get to this stage where we lose ourselves and we don't really focus on what our thoughts are. It doesn't matter if we get there, as long as we're working to moments towards that point. So really, instead of really being the fluctuations of the mind, right, and really, because we pay in real life, right, in day-to-day life, we pay attention a lot to what happens in our minds. And so yoga is about kind of letting that go and becoming a witness to what's happening in our minds, instead of paying too much attention and giving too much weight to what's happening in our minds. So a lot of my students, or a lot of students anyway, a lot of people who try meditation, they give it up because they're like, oh my gosh, it's too hard, it's uncomfortable, right? It's hard to sit down and actually meditate, right? Sitting with yourself and accepting all parts of who you are. So the bits that you like about yourself, but also the bits that maybe you're not so proud of, or the damaged bits that are challenging, right? In yoga, all of those bits make up who we are, and they make us special. So it's not about just only liking the good bits, it's allowing all of you to be who you are. But sometimes it can be difficult. We don't necessarily, we're not good at necessarily, or it's not easy to sit with all parts of who we are and accepting all parts of who we are. So we get antsy, we try and escape. But if we try and sit with ourselves anyway, for me, for example, I do it like cleaning my teeth. If you've been in my workshops on meditation, you'll have heard that. It's just about setting 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long you want, every day, that you just do it, even if you don't really want to. And then the benefits are amazing, right? It just allows for self-awareness. It allows us to respond rather than react, right? To be much more calm and accept who we are. Allows us to meet the world as it is, all sorts of benefit, finding gratitude for the world. It gives our minds a chance to rest from the craziness of life. So you don't have to like meditation. You don't even have to do meditation if you want. As I said last time, there's certain things that can help you that are like meditation, whether it's gardening or taking a hike in nature where you lose yourself. When you lose yourself, you're not always thinking, you just become one with what you are doing. And that is really what meditation is, right? Whether it's music or whatever it is that you love to do, you lose yourself in whatever you are doing. And that is meditation, right? So we might practice a little bit of that today, but just accepting that we probably are not always going to get to meditation. We might find ourselves getting into a little bit where we don't think for a few moments, and then our mind starts chattering again. And again, it's like it's training the mind. So we might find that occasionally we find ourselves in that moment where we lose ourselves, and then we come back to that chattery self. And the more we practice, maybe we find longer moments where we are losing ourselves. So we may find today we get into that space, or we may find that we're working towards that by training our mind with concentration and all these other things, working on the breath. So that's where we're going today. So coming back to a nice seated pose, finding that length through your back, really sitting up tall, shoulders are relaxing. You can have your thumbs and first fingers touching. That is actually Dhyana mudra, so it's like a gesture which is relating to meditation. And we're just going to close the eyes. And pausing for a moment. First of all, just checking in to see how you are feeling. So that can be emotionally, that can be physically. It can be spiritually, whatever you feel like. Just noticing, how are you feeling today? Really paying attention to yourself. And then noticing any sounds in your vicinity. Maybe starting with some that are close to you, and then working a little further away, having the sounds be a bit more distant, but just noticing them. Notice your connection with the ground or whatever you're sitting on. Finding the connection with the back of your hands on your thighs or wherever they fall. And bringing the attention to the breath. You can slow it down and start breathing through the nostrils. Maybe starting with Ujjayi breath, that kind of audible sound if you like to use it. Otherwise, just breathing through the nostrils. Slowing the breath down. And you can notice, is your mind quite chatty today? And that's okay. Again, we're humans. You're going to have this phenomenon. Don't beat yourself up again. Just be a witness and notice what's on your mind without following the stories. And we're going to start with a breathing exercise. It's a square breath. So we're going to inhale for the count of 4, hold the breath for 4, exhale for 4, and hold the breath for 4. I will talk you through it. If it doesn't suit you for whatever reason, you just find your own rhythm or your own breath. We're going to breathe in. This is all through the nostrils. Breathing in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then just start breathing through the nose, letting go of those holds and pausing here for a moment. Gently opening your eyes. We're going to remove anything that we're sitting on. And then you're going to come onto all fours. So you're just going to spread the fingers, wrists are underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And you're just going to take your right foot up to the sky. So you're pressing it up. You can imagine that you've got a tray of whatever on your foot. So you're really trying to have your foot flat to the sky. And you're just pressing up and breathing here, deep breaths. Rounding through the back, the knee is coming in towards the head, rounding here, and then stepping that foot forward. You're pressing the hips forward here. Excellent. Taking a breath. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Hands to heart center. You're going to inhale, reaching forward. You're going to do a twist. So being careful here, it's just the beginning of class. Elbow just coming, tucking over that knee, and you're pressing the hands in. You're trying not to collapse down here. You're pressing and twisting. If that's too much, you just place the left hand on the knee and just open up with the other arm. So your choice, pressing here, taking a breath. Excellent. One more breath here. And then inhale, calming through center. The right hand is going to come down, and you're just going to reach the other arm up, finding openness in the other direction. Hands going to come down here. You can bring them down onto the ground if you like, finding length, or you can find some books or a block. Finding length through your back. If you want to give yourself a bit more work to do, you can tuck the back toes and lift up through the back knee. The right knee can squeeze in towards your body. Left knee can come down if it's up. Removing the block. Hands coming on either side of that front foot. You might need some blocks or books here if you like, especially if you have tight hamstrings. You're going to lengthen through that front leg. Now my toes are coming up, and you're going to try to bring that right hip back, left hip forward, toes active. Now if you've got tight hamstrings, you're just going to try and lengthen through your back and breathe here. If you've got more space, you can come and bring your body down towards that leg. Just listening to where you are. I can definitely feel my hamstrings. Breathing here. Deep inhale and deep exhale. So we're bending that front knee now, tucking through the back toes, and maybe lifting up through that back knee. If that's too much, you just leave that knee down. All options are good, right? Taking a breath here. You can have arms down or not. And then we're going to lengthen through that front leg again. So you can bring the toes up. And again, we're trying to work the hamstrings. So you're going to bring that right hip back, left hip forward, finding length through the back. If you have more space, you can exhale, bringing your chest down towards that front leg. Breathing here, noticing how this works for you. Rebending through that front knee. Left knee is going to come down. So now we're going to work with opening up through that hip. So the left foot can come over to, the right foot can come over to the left, and you're opening through the hip. If that doesn't work for you, you're coming into a figure of four, making sure you activate the toes and you're pressing the knee gently away from you. If you're in pigeon pose, you're trying to make sure your hips are even. So quite often we end up sitting down on the right side. So instead we're trying to move that left hip over. And that might mean we're up a little bit higher, and that's okay. You can always put something under that right hip to help you. So listening to your body, finding that chest puffing up, breathing here. And then you can find yourself folding forward. So moving your body down, coming into reclined pigeon, releasing through your jaw, moving it from side to side, checking in with your shoulders and letting them go away from your ears. And then we're going to walk the hands over to the left side, so kind of diagonally. And just notice how that changes the pose for you. Taking a couple of breaths here. Notice where your mind is. If it's wandered, bringing it back to the present moment. This is a challenging one. We tend to try and escape the poses where we're having to work, say if our hips are really tight. We might want to escape them. So just try and stick with it. Calming on up, bringing that foot back up here. We're lengthening it one more time, finding length through the back, maybe coming down any amount. Bending that foot forward in, tucking the toes and the back, lifting through the back knee if that works for you. And this time maybe keeping the front foot down. You're trying to find length here, right hip coming back and exhaling over that leg. Rebending through that knee. Actually, it doesn't have to come down to the ground, you can keep it up because we're going to come over into a straddle. So the toes are going to come forward. We're lengthening here through the back. So finding that length. We're trying to bring our weight forward a little bit so that we've got the more weight in the front of the feet rather than the back. Taking that right hand down, the left hand can come to the lower back. We're stacking the shoulders and then bringing the left arm up. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then you can take that right arm and bring it towards the left foot foot, maybe even grabbing onto the ankle, getting a slightly deeper stretch here. Hands coming back to center. We're going to go the other way, so that right hand can come to the lower back, stacking the shoulders. And bringing that right arm up if that feels good. And then if you like, you can bring that left hand over towards the right foot. And taking a few breaths. Hands come back. We're going to come back to the lunge. The knee can come down. And then we can come back into a tabletop here. So I'm going to just turn around the other way so you'll be able to see me a little bit more easily on this side. And if you'd like, you can just do a few cat-cows just to work out that lower back. So just inhaling, looking up, and exhale, rounding through the back. And then you're going to take that left foot up and take a few breaths here. Notice what's happening in your mind and see if you can just observe and be a witness to that rather than being a participant in the story. And then exhale, you're going to bring knee to nose or that direction and stepping that front foot forward, pressing the hips forward and bringing the arms up to touch. Exhale, hands come to heart center. You're going to inhale, reach forward, and exhale, tucking that elbow over that knee if that feels good, or just using the hand there instead. Both options good. You're pressing the hands deeply into each other, pressing arm into the leg to really lift up. Finding a twist. Breathing here. Inhale, coming through center. The left hand is going to come on the inside here, and you're just opening up through that right arm. Finding some openness on this side. Hand is going to come down. You can bring something underneath your arm, left knee squeezing into midline, squeezing into your body. Breathing here. Slowly finding your way up. Hands on either side of that foot. Your toes are coming up. You're finding length here through that front leg. Left hip is coming back, right is coming forward. And you're trying to find length through your spine. If you have the space, you can fold over that front leg. Breathing here. Noticing sensations in your body, pleasant or unpleasant. Bending through that front knee. Tucking the toes, maybe lifting through that back knee, if that feels good. Pressing the heel back. Again, you can be holding on to something or not. And then you can have hands down to the ground or on blocks or something similar, and you're bringing the toes up. So they're activating the toes. And again, you're trying to find length through your back here. Left hip is coming back, right hip is coming forward. So you're really working that hamstring. You can find length in the back on the inhale, and if you want to exhale, you can fold over that leg. Breathe in here. Deep inhales and deep exhales. Excellent. Rebending through that front knee. Right knee can come down. And we're going to come into a pigeon pose. So that left foot can move over to the right. And again, if you need to, that heel can come in towards your groin. You're just listening to how this works for you. Or you can come into a seated figure of four. Squaring off the hips again, remembering you're trying to even them out. Relaxing through the shoulders. So making any adjustments needed, puffing up through the chest. And then you can come into a forward fold. Just noticing how that feels for you. Shoulders away from the ears. Jaw can move from side to side. Checking in with your thoughts and what's happening in your mind. Not beating yourself up if you have thoughts in your mind. Remembering it's human. Bringing your arms out to the right side. So you're moving your torso diagonally from your foot. And notice how that changes the pose. Calming back through center. Slowly coming up. You're going to place that foot down again. Lengthening one more time through that leg. Folding over if it feels good. Bending through the knee. Lifting up through the back heel. And then with the foot down this time, you're going to lengthen over that front leg. Excellent. Turning back towards the front toes, pigeon toeing in. Excellent. And we're just going to come to the set to do what we were doing before. So left arm down, hand down this time. Right arm to the lower back or up to the sky. And then you can bring that left hand to the right leg if that feels good. Getting a little bit deeper stretch here. Twist. Hands down. Then the left is coming up. Can come onto your lower back first and stay there if it wants. Taking a breath. And then that hand, right hand to the left ankle or that direction, finding a bit more of a twist. Coming back to center. Maybe finding a flat back here. And then you can try and see if you can fold forward. So maybe grabbing onto both ankles, or you can walk your hands between your legs. Seeing if you can get your head down towards the ground. It might mean bending one knee and the other. Just depends on your body. Everybody's different. And then we're going to come back around to the front, rebending through that knee, front knee, hands down on the ground, left coming to right, to meet the right with legs. And then again, you can do inhaling, looking up, exhale, rounding here, finding a few cat-cows, just to work out that lower back. Calming to neutral. So you're going to then tuck your toes. You just find the space, and you're going to come into a downward facing dog. So first down dog of the class, bending the knees any amount you need to, finding length through your arms and through your back. And maybe pressing back, you can bend one knee and bend the other knee if you like. And then finding some stillness for a moment. We're going to turn onto the sides of the feet, pressing back still in down dog. We're just coming on the edges of the feet in one direction. Inhaling to center, and then we come in the other direction. Still pressing back like downward dog. And then coming into center, down dog. We're going to take the left foot, lifting it up. We're coming into a figure of four in down dog. We're activating the toes on that left foot.
pressing back like downward facing dog. Walking the hands back to the feet, finding a forward fold here. Bringing chest down towards the legs. And then you're going to bring the hands to heart center, coming into a flat back. And slowly making your way up. You can have arms coming up overhead. Maybe even coming up onto the ball of the foot. It's not easy. So we're lifting on the heel. It's hard, up the heel, lifting up the heel. And then the heel can come down. I'm just going to turn so you can see me. We're just going to move over to the left side, getting a little side bend. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, folding to the other side, or getting length the other side. Inhaling up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reaching the arms out. And then we're folding forward here, back over those toes, coming into a forward fold. Walking the hands forward here, coming into a downward facing dog on this side, and releasing through that left foot. Down dog for a moment. Excellent. Now we're going to work the other side. So the right leg is going to lift. We're going to activate the foot on that right side, pressing back, down dog. And then you're going to walk your hands back and fold over that leg. Taking a couple of breaths here. Hands can come to heart center. Slowly finding your way up. Whee. However wobbly that might be, it's all good. Inhale, arms can come up. We're going to see if we can lift up onto the ball of that foot, however difficult it might be. It's challenging. Lifting up. Heel can come down. We're going to come over to one side with the arms coming back to center and over to the other side. Inhaling up, hands coming back down and folding forward. Flat back here, making sure the toes are active on that foot and folding over one more time. And then you can walk your hands forward, coming into a downward dog variation, releasing through that foot. And just notice how that felt, pleasant or unpleasant, coming into your downward dog. This time you're going to walk your feet forward towards your hands, bringing the hands behind the legs, folding down, allowing your head just to be loose. You can shake your head no, you can nod your head yes. And then you can inhale, bringing the arms up to both sides and flat back here, coming all the way up. Again, coming onto the balls of the feet, lifting up through the heels. And exhale, heels down and hands to heart center. Beautiful. We're going to come into some sun salutations and variations here. So we're moving with the breath and with our movements. So inhaling, the arms are going to come up. Exhale, folding forward here, flat back and all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right leg comes back, knee down. Inhaling all the way up. Hands are coming down on either side of the foot, coming into a plank. Heels come back, pressing away, holding the breath. Exhale, knees, chest and chin, elbows squeezing, bottom is up in the air. And then inhale, you're scooting forward,
and opening through the chest here. Shoulders away from your ears. We're going to come down, exhaling, a little variation here. Arms come back, legs come up, opening up here, inhaling here. We're going to take a couple of breaths in this pose, feet, toes pressing back, hands and fingers lifting and pressing back. And then hands down, feet down, tucking the toes. We're going to come back up, downward facing dog. Taking a breath here. The right leg coming between the hands, left knee down, arms reaching up, inhaling. Hands down, folding forward, exhaling here. And then arms coming either side and all the way up with the inhale and exhaling. Hands to heart center. Inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold in here. Inhale, left leg back, knee down, reaching the arms all the way up. Hands coming down either side of that front foot. Right foot comes back to meet the left. Heels are pressing back, holding the breath. Knees, chest and chin. Elbows squeezing in and then inhale, finding that movement forward and opening up. Calming down. This time you can interlace the fingers if you like. You can zip the feet together and you're pressing back and lifting up with the inhale and then taking a couple of breaths here. Releasing. Hands either side of the chest, tucking the toes, calming back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot comes forward, knee comes down, arms are going to reach all the way up, and then hands come down, folding forward, exhaling as you make a sandwich with your body. Inhale, arms come up to the side, and all the way up, a little back bend here. Exhaling, hands to heart center, closing the eyes. Just notice how the body feels. Slow the breath down. Slow the heartbeat down. And now we're going to open the eyes. We're going to come into Natarajasana, which is dancer's pose. You can use a wall if you need to. And there are lots of options. You can start with just having knees towards each other. You're placing your hand, palm face away from you and grabbing on the inside of your foot. So this is a great place to start, and this might be enough for you. Otherwise, you can start by pressing that foot back. So you're trying to keep the hips even. It's easy to try and open up through that hip. We're not trying to go there. We're trying to keep them even with each other. You're pressing back. The left arm can come up, and you can bring it forward a little bit if you want. Breathing here. And coming back to center, closing the eyes. Hands to heart center. Slowing that breath down. And then you can open your eyes and we'll work on the other side. So again, the palm comes out away from you. You're grabbing onto the inside or edge of that foot. And you're trying to keep your knees together. Sometimes people try to press that knee or push the knee out. Trying to keep it down towards the ground. Hips even. You can bring the right arm up if you like.
And first of all, before I move anything, I'm just pressing that foot into my arm, finding openness, being gentle, being careful, trying to keep those hips even. Finding focus, finding concentration, finding kindness. And slowly finding your way down, hands to heart center, closing the eyes. Slowing everything down. We're going to bring the feet far apart, and we're just going to come into Skandasana. So we're going to lift up through the left toes and bend through the right knee. Now you might find that for your body, you need to be up a little bit, or you need something to sit on. That's all fine. So listening to what you need. And we're just going to then move over to the other side. The toes can come up. And then we're going to come center, moving the feet towards each other and coming into a squat pose. Now again, you might need to have blocks underneath you or books. The idea is your knees are coming out, so you're pressing your knees out and you're trying to lengthen through your back. Now, you might be a lot higher and that's absolutely fine. All options are good as long as your back's straight and your knees are being okay. If it's painful, please come out and find something else to do. Okay? Once you're here, you can stay here and just breathe. You can close your eyes, whatever feels good. Otherwise, if you want to play with a balance, you can tuck your arms and your shoulders, and it's just for fun. So you can maybe walk your toes together and start lifting your feet off the ground, finding strength. Now again, it may or may not get there. You might hook the toes, you might fall over and kind of come into your own creative pose as you roll back. All good, wherever you are. Okay, it's the challenge, it's just playing and being open to new things. Backs up, getting length, and taking some breaths. Excellent. We're going to come down onto the butt, but really being careful if you've got knee issues, calming up, and then finding ways that makes more sense for you to come down. Being careful, taking care of your body. It's important. Excellent. We're going to sit up super straight here. Feet are on the ground. And maybe you'll lean back and lift up through those feet. You can bring your arms out. Maybe you bring your arms to one side. Inhale through center and over to the other side. Inhale, center and over with the exhale here. Inhale, center, exhale. And one more time. Inhale, center, exhale. Inhale, center, exhaling here. And then you can squeeze those knees in, finding length through the back. And come lying down on the ground here. Relaxing. Letting go, feeling the ground beneath you, shoulders pressing in, palms face up. Just pausing for a moment. Maybe you can place your feet on the ground, knees up to the ceiling, and bring your feet about mat's width distance apart. Your arms can come out to the sides, and just allow the knees just to fall to the left side for a moment. Coming into center and coming over to the right side. And back into center. Now we're going to come up into a shoulder stand. If you don't really feel like shoulder stand today, you can just come up with the legs up the wall. Making sure if you're here, you can have knees bent, that's fine. And however you have this pose, you want to make sure that the lower back is pressing into the ground. If you prefer to come up into shoulder stand, and it's not for everybody, so you're listening to your body, you're making sure your neck is really safe, and so that there's no pain or discomfort in your neck. You're pressing your balls of your feet up to the sky. You're bringing the chest in towards your chin. And you're pressing the balls of the feet up to get length here. And then you can come up with any variations with a straddle. You could come up with eagle legs, where you wrap the leg around. Make sure you do both sides if you do that. Or you can come with knees either side of the ears. Or if you like, finding your plow. And you may find that your legs don't quite touch the ground. Like with everything, it's all a practice. So breathing. Wherever you are, deep breaths. And then slowly making your way out of this pose, wherever you are. We're going to come into fish pose, where we're going to bring the palms of the hands underneath the butt. It's a really great pose to do after a shoulder stand, where you've had your neck really constricted, and now you're going to really open it up. So you're imagining that there's a strap around your chest, lifting your chest up to the sky. If you want, you can lift up through the legs for some core work also, but you don't have to go there. These are just suggestions or guidance. You don't have to take them. And then slowly calming down onto the ground, bringing your knees into your chest, giving yourself a hug and rolling from side to side. Excellent. Calming into happy baby, so the feet, the soles of the feet up to the sky, grabbing onto the outside edges of the feet, if that feels good. You're bringing the knees down on either side of your chest, of your body. And you can find a bit of movement here if you like. And then if you want to, you can grab onto your big toes and play with straightening one leg or the other. Or you can play with straightening both legs, trying to still press the lower back down into the ground. Bringing the legs back together, knees bending, squeezing the knees into the body. Feet coming down onto the ground, hips distance apart. Maybe you can graze the backs of your heels with your fingertips, shoulders pressing into the ground, coming up into bridge, lifting up here with the hips. You can interlace fingers under your body if you like, tucking your shoulders under. Taking a couple of breaths here. You can start to go even more inwards if you like by closing the eyes. You can take the left foot up to the sky if that feels good, if you want to try it. Placing it down and switching legs. Right foot up. Placing that down. Again, lifting the hips just a little bit further, higher if that feels good. Releasing through the arms, and one vertebra at a time. Slowly finding yourself coming down. Excellent. You can bring your feet, mat width distance apart again. Your arms can come in a T shape, either side of your body, and just dropping the knees over to the left. You can take your left ankle and just hook it over the right knee if that feels good. And then if you'd like, you can just look over the right arm. If you prefer, you can take the left hand on your belly and just close your eyes if it feels good. Finding a way just to let go a little bit more. Deep breaths, checking in with your mind, seeing how it's doing, what's going on in there. See if you can be that observer. Just notice. And then releasing the foot, knees coming up to center, making sure they're still mat width distance apart, and allow them to drop over to the other side. That right ankle just hooking over that left knee. And then if you like, you can look over your left arm. You can have right hand on your belly if you like, closing the eyes or having a soft gaze. A few deep breaths here. Just letting go, going internally a little deeper. Coming into center, bringing knees in, giving yourself an unconditional hug. Life is hard, so being there for yourself every moment of the way, having your back, and then spreading the legs out, spreading the arms out, shoulders pressing into the ground. You can let go of control of the breath. Just give yourself permission to let go, to surrender. There is nothing you need to do here, but just feel yourself. Be in the moment. can stay in Shavasana if you like, or you can bring your attention back to your physical body and find some movement in your fingers and toes, wriggling them or wriggling your wrists or ankles. Stretching your hands up or arms up into the above you and getting length from toes to the fingertips. Bringing knees in towards your body, giving yourself a last hug of the class here. And rolling onto your right side, bringing your right arm underneath your head as a pillow. That feels good. And noticing the ground beneath you there to support you. Gently pressing yourself up into a seated pose. Anything that feels good. You can cross your legs, you can kneel, you can come into lotus. Lengthening through the back, thumbs and index fingers touching palm space up. So we're going to end the class with a short meditation time. So we're not going to be here for that long, but the idea is that we're just going to sit. And just notice what comes up for you. And you can tell yourself it's okay to have things come up. Just notice. And recognize that being here is giving yourself the time, your body, your mind, and saying you're special, you're worth it. If thoughts come in, notice them and just like clouds in the sky, just let them pass without connecting to them. You're about halfway there, you're doing really well, just sticking with it. Then bringing the hands to heart center. Inhale, reaching the arms out to the sides and all the way up, reaching and touching. And exhale, bringing hands down to heart center. Inhale, reaching out and all the way up, exhaling to heart center. One more time, inhale, reaching and coming all the way up. Exhale, bringing it in. Finding some gratitude here for yourself.
for taking the time for your body and mind today. And really for sticking with it, sticking with the meditation, even though it's hard. I want you to rub your hands together so that your hands get really warm. The friction just warms them up. And place them over the eyelids. Notice how that feels. And bringing hands back to heart center for a moment. And then up to the third eye center. It's a pleasure guiding you all through your practice today. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for being here. Namaste. Thank you, everybody.